Good evening and welcome. My name is Jet Lee, co-director of the UCSF SFSU Graduate Program in Physical Therapy and chair of the Department of Physical Therapy at San Francisco State University. Thank you for joining us for the White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2024. On behalf of our program, I would like to welcome our students, their family, and friends. We would like to thank our students for their hard work this past summer and fall, for making the transition from undergraduate work to high-level graduate education, and for becoming a cohesive, collaborative group of professionals. We would also like to thank the parents, siblings, spouses, children, extended families, and friends who have helped our students reach this point in their education, and who will be stalwarts of support throughout the 3 years of their doctoral work and their long careers in physical therapy. In addition to our class of 2024, we would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and welcome our newest cohort of physical therapy residents and PhD students. For our acute care physical therapy residency, I would like to introduce two new residents, Marissa Serra and Arturo Zapico. Marissa is a recent graduate of our DPT program, and Arturo received his DPT degree from the University of the Pacific. Our acute care residents support our DPT courses and have been working with our first-year students in PT 700 and Mobility is Medicine sessions. For our orthopedic physical therapy residency, I would like to introduce three new residents, Jane Hart, Kayla Katzman, and Christian Vivero. Kayla and Christian are graduates of our DPT program, and Jane graduated from Northwestern University's dual degree program with a DPT and a master's degree in public health. Our ortho residents also support our DPT students and have been working with our first-year students in PT 742 and other orthopedics content-heavy classes. For our PhD in rehabilitation science, I would like to welcome two new students, Jessica Bath and Megan McCune. Jessica is a graduate of our DPT program, and her research interests include regenerative rehabilitation, deep brain stimulation, Parkinson's disease, traumatic brain injuries, and spinal cord injuries. Megan received her undergraduate education from Providence College and most recently worked as a clinical research coordinator at Memorial Sloan Kettering. Her current research interest is in brain and spinal cord injury. This evening is a celebration of many, and we hope you enjoy tonight's celebration. Now, I'd like to acknowledge a special alumnus of the program, Michael Go. Michael completed his bachelor's degree in economics at UC Davis and his master's degree in public health with a focus on hospital administration from UC Berkeley. He then came to UCSF and completed his Bachelor of Science and Certificate in Physical Therapy in 1974. Michael has had a storied career. He was an assistant athletic trainer for Stanford University, a clinical and administrative director at a sports medicine center in Berkeley, and a staff physical therapist at multiple hospitals. Obviously an overachiever, Michael was also the first Chinese-American man to open a private practice in physical therapy in San Francisco, and he ran Embarcadero Physical Therapy for nearly 30 years. Michael's dedication to our program has been unwavering. His desire to give back and support future physical therapists led him to endow a scholarship fund in the name of Irene Gilbert, his much-loved program director. Dr. Gilbert's leadership instilled in faculty and students a strong sense of ethics and responsibility to patients, colleagues, and the community, values that Michael embodied throughout his long career. The endowment will provide scholarship funding in perpetuity, facilitating diversity in the program and the profession. We welcome gifts from all who are able to contribute to Michael's gift, and we thank him from the bottom of our hearts. Every year, we bestow a first-year student with the scholarship in honor of Irene Gilbert. So many of us benefited from Dr. Gilbert's commitment and her compassion. And now new generations of students will benefit as well, thanks to the generosity of the scholarship. The American Physical Therapy Association's Code of Ethics is guided by a set of 8 core principles, which include providing compassionate, ethical patient care. The recipient of the scholarship should show evidence of potential to embody these principles as a student and future practicing physical therapist. I'm thrilled to announce this year's recipient of the Irene Gilbert Endowed Scholarship, Cesar Toral. Congratulations, Cesar.
Good evening. I am Theresa Jaramillo, Associate Program Director of the UCSF SFSU Graduate Program in Physical Therapy. It is my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker this evening, Dr. Sharon Gorman. Dr. Gorman is a professor of physical therapy at Samuel Merritt University in Oakland, California. She teaches Doctor of Physical Therapy students in the areas of acute care and management of medically complex patients. She has been actively incorporating simulation-based education into her courses since 2008 and works interprofessionally with the accredited Health Sciences Simulation Center at Samuel Merritt University. Dr. Gorman received her Doctor of Science degree in physical therapy at UCSF SFSU, a Master of Science at San Francisco State University, and a Bachelor of Science in Physical Therapy from Mount St. Mary's University, Los Angeles. Dr. Gorman is board certified by the American Board of Physical Therapy Specialties as a geriatric clinical specialist and is a distinguished practitioner and fellow of the National Academies of Practice. Dr. Gorman is Chief Financial Officer and founding board member of Hands for Global Health, a non-governmental charitable organization committed to empowering health professional students to take leadership roles in global health. Dr. Gorman's professional service spans to local district, state, and national American Physical Therapy Association elected positions, committees, and volunteer activities. She currently serves as Secretary of the American Council of Academic Physical Therapy Simulation in the PT Education Consortium and is a California delegate to the American Physical Therapy Association's House of Delegates. Dr. Gorman is the creator of the Function in Sitting test and is actively engaged in research investigating the psychometric and predictive qualities of this standardized outcome measure. In 2017, Dr. Gorman was named UCSF SFSU Physical Therapy Program Alumni of the Year. Welcome, Dr. Gorman.
Thank you to the DPT faculty, staff, and students for this honor to address you at your white coat ceremony. I was humbled by the invitation and even more humbled as I worked to prepare these remarks. The transition between classroom and lab learning and clinical education is an important one and key to your becoming an exceptional physical therapist. You will begin your practice working with real patients with real health conditions. You will start to hone your craft, expand your learning, and grow into the amazing physical therapist that I will soon be proud to call colleagues. It is an exciting transition, but with most exciting things in life, it can be fraught with nervousness and anxiety. Rest assured, that is normal and even healthy. This year marks the start of my 30th year as a physical therapist. With 30 years of practice, patient experiences, and gray hairs, you'd think finding some words to encourage and advise you would be easy. It wasn't. But it was a chance to reflect on my learning, my growth, and my path to the physical therapist I am today. It seems like eons ago I was in PT school. What insights could I share? Education is both the same and vastly different than when I was in PT school. That got me thinking to the most recent time when I was a student, a novice, a new learner. When I felt unsure, anxious, and even afraid. 3 years ago, I decided to learn to scuba dive. It was a lifelong dream, probably much like you starting physical therapy school. And the more I reflected on that experience, the more I discovered some interesting similarities between my journey to become a scuba diver and your journey into clinical education. So here are my top 10 tips to help you get the most out of your clinical education. Tip number 1. The most important thing to remember is to not lose sight of your primary objective. In diving, this is returning safely from a dive, even if it means calling off a dive before you start. The primary objective in clinical practice, enhancing the movement and activity of your patients, may seem very different, but you still need to keep it in the forefront of your mind. Unsafe conditions, equipment that's not working properly, or not feeling your best are all reasons to not continue with a dive. PT practice is no different. Tip number 2, you always dive with a buddy. And in healthcare, you always have a team. Providing mutual support and having clear communication are important to successful dives, just as they are important in successful patient care. Check in with each other frequently. You don't and shouldn't ever go it alone. Tip number 3. One of my diving instructors repeated constantly, remember to ask for help, not because you are weak, but because you want to be a stronger diver. Same goes for clinical practice. Be reflective about your practice and open to learning from everyone you can. Challenge yourself daily to recognize all the things you've learned from everyone you've come into contact with that day. Frequently, you'll surprise yourself at what you can learn from people you wouldn't expect were there to teach you. Tip number 4. I am obsessed with reading columns in diving magazines that analyze accidents and near accidents. Not out of morbid curiosity, but in an effort to better understand what can go wrong and, more importantly, how to be proactive to prevent errors. We can't predict everything that might go sideways, especially in patient care. The inevitable lessons of these columns is never panic underwater. Stop, relax, breathe, and then think through the problem. Nothing is made better by panicking. Not during a dive, and certainly not during clinical care. Fight the urge to move quickly when things move off track. Slow time down and think clearly through the problem. Tip number 5. Become familiar with the underwater area and its dangers. Know your resources. Same thing goes in clinical care. What could go wrong? Do you have a plan to monitor and react to that? What resources do you have available? How can you access them? Think through these issues as much as possible before you find yourself in the situation. Tip number 6. Dive within your limits and training. Be honest about them and make sure your team or your buddy knows what they are. This doesn't mean that you won't learn during clinical placements. You will. But make sure you know what your limits are before, what you are learning and what you already know and are practicing. Don't confuse overconfidence with ability. Be honest. Tip number 7. Remember to look around. Being observant is one of the delights about diving. Coral, sea life, the sun filtering through the ocean. Be sure to appreciate the beauty all around you. Observation is a critical skill in patient care and the crux of your development as a physical therapist. Don't forget to see what's going on around you. Watch the anatomy, see the physiology, observe the biomechanics you've studied so hard right there in front of you. It's just as diverse and just as beautiful, and it would be a shame to miss it. Tip number 8. Divers have lots of advanced certifications available to expand their skills. Soon enough, you will have those as a physical therapist. Be sure to pursue avenues to expand your skill set, open your horizons, and grow as a physical therapist. Plan for a growth mindset for the rest of your career. PT school is just one small portion of your career. Don't forget that. Number 9, in diving, especially when learning, it's important to track certain metrics. How much gas you consume, how long and how deep your dive was. All of these can be indicators of your development and growth as a diver. When you're on your clinicals, don't just document your patient's progress. Be sure to track yours as well. Are you becoming more efficient with documentation? Are you needing less time to conduct a chart review or a patient interview? Note your progress as well as your patient's progress. Tip number 10, don't forget to have fun. Don't forget why you embarked on this journey. Everyone has their own story of why they came to physical therapy. Don't forget yours. There will be times when you may lose sight of that, so check in frequently with yourself and find ways to remind yourself why you started on this path. You have a story that got you here. Don't forget to revisit that and use it to re-energize yourself. In closing, I'm excited for your start on the path to learning from each and every patient that you work with. It's not easy, but it can be exceptionally rewarding. I hope to blow some bubbles with you someday as a PT and maybe as a diver, and wish you the best on your journey diving into clinical education. Here's to fair winds and following seas. Good luck. See you out on the ocean.
Thank you, Dr. Gorman, for your inspirational message. I would now like to introduce Dr. Diane Allen, professor at San Francisco State University, who will introduce us to the significance of the white coat.
Hello, my name is Diane Allen. I have the privilege of describing why we have a white coat ceremony. What does the white coat signify? Much of the significance is traditional. Healthcare workers wore white because it could be cleaned more easily than other colors. White coats, cuffs, collars, caps, sheets, and aprons could be boiled or bleached. They could be starched to repel further dirt and contamination. Wearing white coats helped keep disease and contamination off of everyday clothes. White coats symbolized cleanliness. White coats can also signify candor, from candidus, the Latin word for white. Candor means openness of mind, impartiality, frankness, qualities that can signify trustworthiness. But white coats can also intimidate. Patients may only see an authority figure or hear unwelcome diagnoses and unfamiliar terms from people in white coats. They may recall times when medical personnel or researchers took advantage of or actively harmed people they cared about. White coat syndrome means that seeing white coats triggers fear and stress. Wearing white coats can alienate the very people we are trying to help. Perhaps we should don patient gowns instead of white coats. We might be less intimidating. But when patients are vulnerable, they also want to see someone knowledgeable. They want someone who has the training and experience to offer the most effective healthcare. They need to know whom to trust. At this white coat ceremony, putting on a white coat symbolizes that first clinical experience for our first-year DPT students. Students, you are entering a new relationship with patients and clients. When you don this coat, put on responsibility to merit confidence. Put on compassion to warrant entry into another person's vulnerability. It is up to you to minimize intimidation while maximizing effective healthcare choices. Let your white coat signify both trust and caring.
Thank you to all who assisted in the coding of our students. Next, our students will recite the American Physical Therapy Association's Oath for Physical Therapists.
As a physical therapist dedicated to providing the highest quality care and services, I solemnly pledge I will
respect the rights and dignity of all individuals who receive my services or with whom I work,
act in a compassionate and trustworthy manner in all aspects of my services, exercise sound professional judgment while abiding by legal and ethical requirements,
demonstrate integrity during interactions with colleagues, other healthcare providers, students, faculty, researchers, the public, and payers for the enhancement of patient care and the advancement of the profession.
enhance my practice through lifelong acquisition and application of knowledge, skills, and professional behavior,
Participate in efforts to meet physical therapy and healthcare needs of local, national, and global communities.
Thus, with this oath, I accept the duties and responsibilities that embody the physical therapy profession.
Good evening. I'm Amber Fitzsimmons, co-director of the UCSF SFSU Graduate Program in Physical Therapy and the chair of the Department of Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation Science at UCSF. Congratulations to our class of 2024, and thank you for everyone being here this evening. I would like to express gratitude on behalf of the faculty, departments, and institutions. I'd like to start with the students first. You're amazing learners, sharp, motivated, engaged, and resilient. We can see that the future is bright indeed. I feel reassured that this group will be taking care of our community, most likely, including myself. Also, to the family and friends and loved ones, we appreciate you taking the time to celebrate with us. We also appreciate all the effort, courage, and love it must have taken to raise these amazing group of learners. To our keynote speaker, Dr. Sharon Gorman, for making this evening distinguished and memorable. To our program faculty and staff for putting this evening together, and to our students on the planning committee, Jaramillo, Diane, and Rebecca Robinson. The SFSU and UCSF faculty and student body form the caring and close-knit academic family that helps to guide and cultivate our learners to become the future leaders that will embrace and carry forward the highest ideals of the physical therapy profession. I would also like to extend an invitation to everyone here to get the most out of tonight's festivities. I invite us to consider the past. To our learners, I invite you to think about all the steps you've climbed, the classes you excelled at, the ones that challenged you, the experiences you embraced to reach this, your calling, and your place in this profession. I would like to invite all of us to consider the people that nurtured and encouraged us and our dreams, so much so that we could do nothing but succeed. And I would remind us all, it is okay to express our gratitude to those who deserve it, even if words can never do justice to what and how we feel. I invite us to be present this evening, to take a moment or two to look, to listen, to feel what it's like to be here, right now, with family, friends, loved ones, classmates, professors, and our newfound family, and maybe a couple of pets, and to focus on a shared objective that binds us together tonight to help each other take the steps forward to become the best we can be. To the class of 2024 in particular, I invite you to look at the future. Take the gratitude you feel toward those that fostered you and your aspirations and look for ways to pay it forward. Imagine not if, but how you can become the best PT student you can be, one that embodies all the qualities that the APTA espouses: dutiful, skilled, accountable, compassionate, altruistic, and socially responsible. Imagine being a PT in the not so distant future and showing these qualities to each and every patient that you are privileged to treat. And in doing so, paying forward all the support that your family and friends and loved ones have given to you and making them proud. And imagine finding a way to leverage your collective talents and skills and altruism to bring a greater good to a community, to our society, and thus start a cascade of beneficence that begins with an idea, a notion, right here and tonight. I want to offer congratulations again to everyone who helped the class of 2024 make it here. And to the class of 2024, congratulations and welcome to our profession. We could not be more proud of you. Thank you to everyone for celebrating with us this evening.